Hey everybody, MrAyrit here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a review that's probably long overdue, and that is for the Sennheiser HD6XX. Now, full disclosure, I have owned this headphone now 3 times. So this is the 3rd time I've purchased this headphone, and what it comes down to is I just cannot make myself like this headphone. I just don't like it. And I know it's a struggle because I know so many people just love these headphones, and I just don't see it. I don't hear it. So I guess we're gonna talk in this video about why that is. What's my impression of the sound, and why I just can't seem to like it. Now I know. I'm going to preface this by saying I've tried it on lots and lots of amps, okay? Like I said, 3rd time owning it. I bought it specifically once because I bought the Dark Voice thinking that might cure my meek enthusiasm for this headphone. It didn't, although, I mean, it was interesting sound, but I ultimately didn't keep it, or the Dark Voice. And then I was just recently came into a Valhalla 2 on a trade by chance, and I thought, okay, another tube amp, saw 6XX for a decent price. So I thought I'm gonna give it one more shot and see if I can hear what everybody else is hearing. Well, I didn't, and I don't, and this is what I hear. Okay, well, you know what? Before we get into that, let's look at the build real quick, and we can talk about that. So this is a Sennheiser 6 Series headphone. What does that mean? It means it's plastic. Okay, it's plastic. It feels pretty sturdy. I mean, it's not bad by any means. You know, it's sturdy plastic. It feels well made. It creaks and, you know, does all the things that plastic headphones do. I mean, it doesn't feel premium or anything like that. The pads are, you know, reasonably comfy. They're fairly stiff. They're velour. A little bit scratchy, I would say. But all in all, you know, wearing it, it's a pretty nice fit. It feels pretty good. It feels pretty comfy. I mean, I wish the pads were a little bit deeper. I feel like my ears do kind of touch like the inside of them a little bit, which bothers me. So the pads are they're tight. Like it's a tight fit in there for me. But all in all, the build is perfectly adequate. Mine comes with, or came with, you know, about a 4-foot Sennheiser cable with a 3.5 mil attachment. Nothing too fantastic there. But as far as stock cables go, I mean, you could do a lot worse than this. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this cable. It's perfectly usable. So I mean, that's it. That's the build. Let's talk about sound. So what are these things known for? They're known for being intimate. I'd say check. That's a for sure. They're known for having a strong vocal presentation. I would say pretty much check. They're definitely a vocal focused headphone. They're known for having some decent bass. I would say it's enjoyable bass. It's not super clean, and you know, I kind of feel like it's a little muddy. Maybe there's like a little bit of bloat there with it. I should clarify too that you know, what most of these sound impressions, I settled on the Valhalla 2 with some vintage RCA tubes was about the best thing that I tried it with. It just, honestly, I feel like I've always had the impression that this headphone is just a bit sharp. Like there's something in that upper frequency response or upper mid to treble transition that I just find a little gritty, a little grating, and it's really apparent on some amps for me. So I definitely prefer it on tubes as it kind of mellows some of that out. Certainly I've got a G111 right now, and I've got a Jotunheim 2, and on either of those I found it definitely like too sharp and to not agree with me. And then the tubes, I got an MT604 with stock tubes, and I've got the Valhalla, and I had stock tubes and these vintage RCAs. So the vintage RCAs I thought were a little more laid back, maybe not quite as clean, but I thought that was the best, mellowest listen. And so all these impressions are kind of through that lens there. So just so you know. But I guess what it comes down to is I just feel like the clarity is missing. You know, it's not an unpleasant headphone per se, but like I said, on the wrong amp, I do feel like it kind of grates on me. And then on the amps that it's okay with me, I feel like the veil, which, you know, there's definitely a Sennheiser veil going on with this headphone, and that's extremely apparent if you're switching back and forth from something else, like something from Hi-Fi Man, or I've got a Nighthawk over here that I've kind of compared with it a little bit. So definitely the veil is present, and I feel like those other headphones are cleaner. I feel like they're smoother. I feel like they're more spacious. I just don't agree with this headphone. I think the combination of the veil that's there and the small soundstage just makes me feel like I'm missing stuff, and I'm just always terribly aware that I'm listening to headphones. I never lose that illusion and just kind of slip away in the music. I'm always just feel like I'm listening to a set of Sennheisers, and it just doesn't stand out to me as like a stellar experience. I will say that there is enjoyment to be had with these. Like, there's no doubt about that. And again, I can kind of see why people like this headphone. Like, again, I don't think it's like displeasing, but again, there's just something in the upper frequencies there that just grates on me after a little while. And I just don't love it. And I think maybe my expectations are set too high, because I've heard so many people just praise the crap out of these. And I just really wanted to get that. And I know, and I'm sure, I mean, feel free to comment and weigh in an alternative opinion, and feel free to, you know, maybe make a suggestion for amp pairings and tube pairings and things like that. But to be perfectly honest, there isn't enough here that I like for me to go search those things out or spend money in search of like the perfect amp to fit these, or the perfect tubes to fit these. I can pick up in the same price range. I can pick up I got the HE560 here, which I think sounds phenomenal on the Valhalla 2. I've got a set of OG Nighthawks right here, which I think sound really good coming out of most things, especially the 604. I think they sound good out of. So these are headphones that I've bought for a similar price to the Sennheisers, and I would never choose the Sennheisers over them. And I think it's interesting that people do, and I think it does go to show you, you know, just how subjective some of this stuff is, and that there can be a super well-regarded headphone that like the majority of the community just loves, and maybe you won't like it. You know, maybe it's not going to agree with you. Maybe you won't hear what they're hearing or feel what they're feeling when they're hearing it. And I guess I'm in that camp with the 6XX. So not a bad headphone. I mean, it just doesn't amaze me the way it amazes other people. And for my headphones, I want something that has like no veil present. I want something that's clear, that has some soundstage to it, that has some tight, you know, clean bass. And these just don't fit that bill. Maybe they would in the right circumstances, or on the right amp, or with the right tubes, but I just haven't found it. And I think I'm done trying. So I have reviewed other Sennheisers that I've liked. I really like the 560S, and I really like the 660S. So, and I think a lot of people, you know, say that they would take these over the 660S, or they were really disappointed with the 660S after coming from these. And I don't understand that at all. I think, in my mind, the 660S, it's been a while since I've heard it, but I thought that was a super clean headphone, good detail, good imaging, decent soundstage. I really had no complaints about that headphone. I thought it was pretty good for $300. And Yeah, I still think it's the king of the Sens, personally. I think if I was looking for an entry-level Sennheiser or something more in this price range, I'd go with the 560 personally. And then if I wanted something more, I'd go up to the 660 if I was hunting for something Sennheiser. But I think there's lots and lots of headphones on the market for, you know, around $200 that, for me, just for my preferences, just blow this out of the water. And yeah, so I'm sorry if I disagree with you, but you know, I thought it was worth putting out there so people heard an alternate opinion. I don't know, weigh in below, let me know what I'm missing. I'll link to some of those other Sennheiser reviews if you want to check those out, or a whole playlist of open back headphones if you want to you know, delve into those and see what my opinion is on some other headphones. Appreciate you sticking with me. Thanks for stopping in for a quick review. You know, if you liked it, like it. If you didn't, do that other thing. And, you know, feel free to subscribe if you want some more headphone content. So I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next video.